Is ray tracing the true generational leap in computer graphics, or it's just an overrated tech? Come with me and let's find out together. Now that the next generation of consoles has arrived, it looks like NVIDIA's plan to force RTX on the whole industry is finally coming true. Not only the new consoles, but also AMD new graphics cards just launched with their first generation of hardware accelerated ray tracing. Well, if you're considering 15 FPS gaming at least. With Cyberpunk 2077 launch just around the corner, hopefully at December 10th, the hype couldn't be any higher. Just as yesterday, NVIDIA launched a behind-the-scenes trailer with a brand new ray-traced gameplay footage. And this is the material I will be analyzing just for you. Before we get into that, just a quick disclaimer. This footage was downloaded at 4K from YouTube and compression artifacts are expected. However, when Cyberpunk 2077 is launched, the first content I will be creating is a video comparing RTX on and off, and also comparing PC with PS4 and PS5, so make sure to smash that subscribe button so you won't miss any of that. Moving back to the gameplay footage, as you can see, NVIDIA color graded their video and it's slightly more saturated than what we used to seeing, so keep that in mind. For all the side-by-side comparisons I could find, I think this is the one that best captures the difference between RTX and non-RTX versions of the game. And even here, it is hard to say that ray tracing is making the scene looks objectively more accurate. On this other shot, there are clear differences in reflections on the statue, however, they also don't appear to be made of the same material either, so it is hard to separate the effect of ray tracing and the upgrade they have done in graphics overall over the past few months. Here we have another really good example on just how stunning the game actually is. This is a direct comparison between the in-game capture and in-engine trailer. The technical differences are subtle, but when you have gameplay capture, there's no cheating. What you see is what you get. On the other hand, when you're doing an in-engine capture, you can play with the camera angles and light sources to make the shot look just perfect for the thing you want to showcase. And yet, the gameplay footage without ray tracing have perfect shadows, perfect reflections, and even the global diffuse lighting, it is almost identical to the ray traced ones. The only significant difference I could spot are those shadows in the background, and I had to look very hard to find those. Here's another good example of shadow accuracy. On the RTX off scene, there are some minor inconsistencies with the length and direction of the shadows. The car has a much smaller shadow than what you would expect when you compare this with the shadows casted by the trees and the house. The angles are not compatible considering the only source of light is the sun. Also, very small objects are not casting any visible shadow like those small bushes and this barrel. With RTX on, all the shadows appear to be more accurate, at least for me, and even those tiny patches of grass are casting appropriate shadows on the dirt. I know the two scenes have the sun in different elevations on the sky, but even when you factor in this, I would give the win for the RTX, at least on this one. Here there is the addition of the orbital air spinning head, but that has nothing to do with RTX. For most of the comparisons you will see, the differences are so subtle that you really have to look for them. I bet with you that if I were to remove the labels on the footage, you'll have a hard time telling which one is which. On this scene where we meet Padre, we can clearly see the RTX in action by the reflection casted on the water puddle, and it's a shame we don't have the on RTX footage to that same angle to directly compare them. Either way, the occlusion caused by Padre on the non-RTX shot is quite impressive as well. Inside the Rosaka headquarters, we can also do a direct comparison between NVIDIA's trailer and CD Projekt 1. With RTX on, the diffuse reflections on the floor are a tiny bit more well defined, however the rest is pretty much identical to me. At least for this title, I don't see the need to sacrifice a good chunk of the frames just to have almost unnotable lighting effects. And don't get me wrong, it is not that the RTX effects are bad or lacking here, not at all. They all look great indeed, but CD Projekt did such an incredible job with fake lighting in this game that the base results are just unbelievably good. Well, I could always be wrong here, so I will let you be the judge. After you watch the rest of the footage, please leave in the comments what's your opinion regarding ray tracing in Cyberpunk 2077. What is your verdict, Chumba? For me, I feel like RTX is great and all, but the so-called fake effects CD Projekt Red put here are so amazing. So that being said, don't feel sad and think that you are missing too much by not having last-gen RTX cards. Instead, we all got to thank CDPR for their hard work at creating such stunning visuals, even with RTX off. So what you think? I would love to hear from you in the comment sections below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.